Okay, we are live. And so we have Warren Rowe. That's how we say your name, correct? With
That's right.
Warren Rowe Photography. So Warren, of course, the name just speaks for what you do. But give us a little background about exactly what it is that your business entails.
Okay. Well, thank you, first of all, for inviting me. I greatly appreciate it. And what I do, I am what is called an on-site photographer. I go to where my clients or potential clients are to provide my photography services to those people. It can be families, it can be individuals, it can be businesses, and runs a pretty good range of types of photography, from headshots to family portraits to birthday parties. I've pretty much done just about everything you can really do, reasonably. And I have a lot of fun doing it. I mean, it's just a blast to see people enjoying themselves, capturing them, for posterity on, on in pictures. I absolutely love it. I have a great time doing it.
Would you say you started this as a hobby and then it turned into a profession?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a hobby. What I would say is I started playing with a camera, like this was about maybe 10 years ago, something like that. And just playing around with it. And I started taking some photos, some decent photos. So I kind of had an idea of trying to capture them the way I would like to see them. And people began to say that I had a really good eye for what I was doing.
Okay.
And naturally, in the beginning, I just thought, okay, and I like doing work behind the scenes, behind the camera. I'm not too much of a fan being in front of the camera, but
Okay.
behind it, I love it. I mean, that's just the way I am.
Okay.
But over time, I began to get better and better. I began to see in myself that I can do this. I really can do this. So I have come a long way from that point. I'm a self-taught photographer. Learned everything I possibly could, online. There's the internet is full of options as to how to learn to become a photographer and figure out what you can do, do the best, and everything else just kind of leave it alone. You just kind of leave it to the side. The portrait photography is what I love, more than
Okay.
anything else.
So, I mean, with this, everything that's going on right now with COVID-19, I'm glad you're an on-site photographer because then that means you can go to your clients, wherever it is that they're at, right? And
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
how far do you travel as far as,
I'm willing to travel, and that's a good question. A lot of people don't realize this. I'm willing to travel about as far as it takes within the state of Texas. I currently advertise not only in Central Texas, I advertise anywhere from about Wichita Falls to San Antonio, north to south, and then from San Angelo to the west to about Centerville, to the east. And as you can pretty well tell, that's a pretty wide area.
it is,
I
it is.
know, but I want to bring my services, full service, photography to people that really need it.
And I'll tell you what, Warren, I'll probably go ahead and let the people in San Antonio know you're out there too.
Okay.
Okay, so when it comes to your business, I understand that especially with the current situation, it's kind of hard to do these events nowadays, going to like sporting events, doing photography for graduation, especially related to things where, again, there's a group of 10 or more people, right?
Right.
Um, how are you dealing with that?
Well, it's been pretty difficult. In fact, with everything basically being practically shut down. I
Mhm.
mean, and I'm not the only photographer that's dealt with this. Practically every photographer out there has the same issue.
Okay.
And there'll be quite a few that may not be able to bounce back from this and continue in their business. Me, I fully intend to. I'm not going anywhere. I'm in this for the long haul. I put a lot of effort, money, and driven my wife crazy with it, but she supports me all the way, and I intend to be there once all this ends, and be there for the people that really need some photographic work done.
It sounds absolutely great. Now tell me, Warren, so, especially now with a lot of people having iPhones and phones with cameras, how would you say, photography can outshine your phone when it comes to taking pictures?
That is an excellent question. I'm glad you asked that. A lot of people, and let me say this, I mean, the photography, the cameras in cell phones like an iPhone or a Galaxy, which I'm using an S10 Plus, right now, uh, it's come a long ways, and it institutes what's called computative photography. And it involves math and stuff, which is way beyond what I could possibly understand. But the results of taking pictures using such cameras are incredible. Like say I'll give the S10 Plus that I'm using, it uses a 3-lens system, and that provides really good results, and especially at night in low light, does really good. But there is a limit that a lot of people don't realize. The limit is the length of the lenses in your camera. They're fixed. They're only about like 7 millimeters, 7 to 10, depending on what your camera is. But they're fixed. You can't make them longer. You can't shorten them, or whatever. I mean, you can do a lot with it, but for some shots, if you try to zoom in on a subject, let's say it's a block down the street, the focus will not work properly. It will begin to get kind of fuzzy or blurry. You won't get the shot that you need. Now they're good for close-up, shots, and in some cases, at night shots, lower light. But if you need to take a photo of something at a much farther distance away, you're not going to be able to do it very well, if at all. But again, because of the limitation of the length of the focus, that's going to be the number one overriding factor.
Okay, that's absolutely something that I'm thinking about too, because we were talking about earlier the lighting. I think lighting is also a limitation to the phones, because I mean, unless you're, under direct sunlight, or the light is perfect at the right moment, then it won't be as great as a professional photographer would take your photo.
Right, but if what I do suggest, though, everyone generally tends to use the auto setting. But if you learn how to use your phone in what's called the pro setting or pro mode, there are more settings in there. You can adjust, your lighting and other settings where it'll work pretty good. So, but again, overall, so like you right now, if you were to, let's say you were to take a selfie of yourself, you can actually go into the pro mode and you can kind of change the settings enough to where it'll look a little lighter, it'll look a little better. And not all phones will have this go over to the video, portion, of it. A lot of times it's just as is, it's auto. But with pro settings, if you're taking just a static picture, a selfie or whatever, that'll work pretty well for you.
Okay, but our focus here is getting you the professional photography. How will people be able to notify or contact you as far as for your service?
I have multiple ways to go about it. I have a website. You can find it at www.warrenrowephotography.com.
Okay.
You can find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, Warren Rowe Photography, and I'll explain about that, in a minute. You can also find me on Instagram at Warren Rowe Photography, all one word. So I'm pretty well out there on social media, more so on Facebook than on Instagram. But I'm looking at other possibilities as well.
Okay, great. And we can definitely talk about that too, as far as avenues or channels for you to display your work. All right. Anything that you want to tell, our customers out there or people watching the video? Do you have any, right now, any discounts, promotions going on? Anything like
Yes,
that?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I do, as a matter of fact. Now, right now I'm running, it's an annual event. It's called the Mother's Day giveaway.
Okay.
And what it is that, it's a giveaway for a mom. If mom should, a person sends in an entry, for a mom or for his mom, or a person who's a really good mom, and explains why, she should win, a photo session. It's a free photo session with free digital files, from the session, to go with that.
Okay.
And normally I'll run it in March, but of course with all this going on, I decided to extend it to the end of June.
Oh, nice.
Gives a lot of people, an opportunity to, to send in their entry. Also, when it comes to, I also offer some savings. This is all the time. For those who are first responders or active military,
Okay.
and what I mean by first responders is police, fire, EMS, and the dispatchers for each of those services, you get a 10%, off all of my services,
Nice.
regardless of what you want.
Okay.
And I also had, right now, my business is, celebrating its 5th anniversary. So
Congratulations.
for the month of March, I was offering 10% back, for the entire month. But of course, with all this going on, I decided just to take the 10% off, have the 10% off go through the rest of 2020. So this will go through New Year's, and that amount will come off automatically. So what the prices that you'll see, and I'm doing some major website work. So bear with me a little bit. I'll have that set up. The 10% will come off what's showing. So that should, hopefully that will help someone, that really needs some work done.
All right. Yeah. With that Mother's Day special extending into June, you're going to get some fathers jealous in there.
I'm sorry?
So with that Mother's Day extending till June, you're going to get some fathers jealous.
That's fine. I mean, that's okay. Maybe one of these days I'll do maybe a Father's Day giveaway. Something I thought about. But we need to celebrate our mothers. And yes, Mother's Day is the best way to do it. But I thought, no, what would be a great way, to show appreciation for our moms out there. And I thought this is the perfect way to do it. No one else does that. And I think I'm the only one that does that sort of a giveaway.
And so how do people do that? How do they participate in the giveaway?
What they can do is that they can go to my website at warrenrowephotography.com. There's a contact page with a form that's there.
Okay.
Use the form with the subject matter, say, something that has to do with Mother's Day giveaway. And in the field, that's provided, just explain in a couple of paragraphs or so about why that person he or she nominates to win that, can explain why she should get it. And a couple of examples are good too. That always helps also.
Right. Okay. Is there anything else you want to share with our customers before we close up?
Okay, well, let me say this though. When it comes to prints, a lot of people like to put their pictures on on their phones or their computers, that sort of thing. Print is still very important.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I look at it is, so I offer prints, in addition. In fact, I prefer to offer prints as opposed to digital copies. Of course, you can get those too.
Right.
But I use prints, for a lot of my clients. There are different styles of paper that I have offered. Luster, matte, cotton rag, which is a different type of fiber, and metallic. And the metallic looks really good, especially if you have your photos done in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really, really good. So those are the 4 types of paper that I offer. I use high quality printing printers. I use Canon printers. I use Canon ink, no third party anything.
Okay.
And the paper I use is out of a very big provider out of Dallas. It's one of the best I've ever seen. When it comes to photo paper.
Okay.
So I go exclusively with them.
I definitely love print better. I mean, if I were to print my own digital files, it will never come out as good as a professional photographer. That's why I like the prints.
Yeah.
She can always put it in a frame and find a place on the wall to hang it up.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that also. You have to be careful about where you mount your photos, because if you mount your photos, where sunlight can hit them, that can potentially cause fading.
Correct.
And the photos won't last near as long as they normally would. Now, also, not only do I offer photo prints, I can have canvas prints done for you, wood prints, prints on wood, and something that many people haven't seen, but it's really interesting. It's prints on glass, and the photo is actually printed onto the glass.
Okay.
and it's really something. It's really good, and not too many people have seen that, much less offer it. But I do offer that.
That's wonderful. Are those things listed on your website?
I will have them listed on my website. I'll have a store, for it. So if you were to choose a photo that you wanted and you want to purchase it, you'll have the options to choose in whatever style that you want.
Great, great.
So
Okay.
also I do landscape photography occasionally, and that's pretty much all I can really do at the moment, the way things are going. But I'm working where I will have a landscape of photos available, and you'll have those options too. To order prints, or like what I mentioned, the canvas or wood or whatever else that you want. Those options will be there as well.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. And that's on www.warrenrowephotography.com. That's correct?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Okay. All right. So Warren, I really do appreciate you coming on our Facebook Live with us. And one more time, your phone number so that customers will be able to reach you.
Okay, my phone number is 512-525-6987. If I don't answer, please leave a voicemail. I'll get back in contact as soon as I can. You can also text me at the same number.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Warren. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
All right, have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.